It's dinner time. I've just hit go live, and I hope I set it up as a public listing. Oh, hang on, there's someone. I did a test run before because this is my emergency backup plan to kind of, hang on a sec. Aloha. So this is sort of my emergency backup plan, is to try and have a permanent kitchen set up. So I don't have to constantly set up between the kitchen and the living room, or ultimately my little home office, Bullhorn Betty style, with a 1997 printer. But I might just wait and see if anyone comes in. Yay, Cody, how are you? Far out, I haven't seen you forever. Are you well? We're whacking up some garlic chicken this evening in the shitty kitty kitchen with some maple syrup carrots, which is just kind of like a type of carrot I do sometimes, and some green beans. But yeah, I'm enjoying going live again while I'm cooking and people popping in. A lot of Australians are probably making dinner as we speak, but if people pop in to say good day, that'll be awesome. And really trying to focus on doing some recipes that are super budget friendly. Oh, bless you, Cody. Anything in particular that you've been checking out? Just putting my hair up properly. There's one thing about MasterChef that does my head in. You're watching all these people preparing and cooking food and their hair's all over their face. It's like, no, don't do that. So you're trying to look at sort of budget-friendly stuff, and also I'm going to be doing a lot more just like 2-serving stuff, because I often do the full recipe and then I end up with the same meal to eat for the next 4 or 5 days, and I don't like that. I don't like the leftovers, and I think the way the economy is right now, everyone's got to budget a little bit and be mindful of what they buy. I mean, I think if you can find a bargain pack of meat or something and you can divvy some of it up and freeze it, go for it. But I'm pretty much just buying what I need now. Oh, you really enjoyed that? Oh, cool. Worker assist question and answer live. It was good fun. Hey, Cement Shoes. Yeah, I'm simulcasting as always. I don't know if you can see Cody, but if you can't, Cody's on the other channel. I mean, I go live on the Shitty Kitty Kitchen just so the cooking stuff is archived there, because I do a lot of different things on the Tasmania Calling channel. So whether everyone just out of habit starts hanging out over here on Tasmania Calling, and then the Shitty Kitty Kitchen can just be a little archive. There's way more people over on Tasmania Calling anyway, so you're more likely to see most people in there. There's only like 160 subs or something over on the Shitty Kitty Kitchen. I'm going to get on with the carrots first because they need about half an hour in the oven. And this isn't any recipe, it's just what I do with them. But yeah, there's some things in my fridge that need to be eaten. That's the other thing, like you just can't waste food at all. So these are some carrots that are starting to get a tiny bit bendy, not too bad, but really keen to eat them. I'm not super fussy with heirloom carrots. Like if there's a few scuzzy bits, pull them off, but I don't peel them or anything like that. And I even leave the little, well, there's a weird little lumpy thing there, but I even leave the little hairy tail bit on if it's not too manky. That one's not manky, but it's coming off. Hi, Mandy. Oh, you're making breakfast. What are you making? So these are going to be roasted in the oven, and it's just a way I like to do carrots. Some people do honey carrots, and I thought I'd just show you the maple syrup version. I'm actually going to take the little tiny bits off the end because they're not that great. But some of them are this is a bit bendier than the other one, but they're all going to get roasted in the oven for half an hour, so they'll get all crunchy and yummy anyway. But yeah, the recipe to the garlic chicken is in the description, and I really want people to try it, even if you don't think you can cook, because it's so ridiculously easy. and it's absolutely divine. And it's using ingredients. The recipe is in the link, and it's a Donna Hay recipe, but it's one of those things that you'd already have all of the ingredients in your house, in your kitchen, but you can, it's just the way you cook it and the way you add things and what you add and when that can take something from being, you know, passable weeknight cooking to being like something that you cook all the time because it's bloody delicious. Oh, we've got the full English breakfast going on. Nice. So I've got the oven at 180 degrees Celsius, which is, what is it in the Fahrenheit? It'd be, I don't know, over 300, maybe 320, 330, something like that. So you get your little carrots, and then we're just going to put maple syrup. There's no measurements. It's just ratio, whatever you think you should have with your carrots. This is the beautiful garlic from my sister's house. She grew this. She's clever. So just drizzle over maple syrup enough so that it all gets a bit on it, basically. And then I'll just put these over here to keep the bench fairly clean. Bit of olive oil. Again, it's a bit of guesswork. I mean, you're roasting veggies, so just a drizz. And we're also going to add some of my sister's garlic. There's going to be a lot of garlic in tonight's. I don't need to crush it from memory. I just put these. Again, it's a bit hit and miss. You just planted some garlic. Yeah, well, she's done really well. She said, oh, it's a bit dry, but so far so good. It looks great. So I'm just going to keep the cloves actually in the skin. And for this many carrots, I'll do 2. If you're cooking for like 4 people or whatever, then chuck in maybe 3 or 4. If you love your garlic, there's no rules. I'll save that one for the next dish because we are making garlic chicken, but you know, you can never have too much garlic. And then we're going to put some salt and pepper. The trick to yummy food is seasoning. And I'm going to use some of my yummy rock salt. Yeah, I hope your garlic grows too, Maddie. There's nothing better than homegrown stuff. Speaking of, I'm going to add a herb. And I think for this, I'm going to add some sage, which I used to grow really well. And then my plant, I went away and over summer just for a week to Singapore, and it was really hot, and I got back in the sage and absolutely carked it. But I knew I had some sage. So just, you could put whatever herbs you want. I'm just putting, I'll put 4. I love sage. 4 sage leaves, herbs. I mean, I picked this up for 30 cents. So, you know, bargain. And you can freeze all your herbs. I do keep an eye out for bargains now when I'm shopping. And then I wash my hands before we started. Just give it a mix with your hands. Make sure everything is covered in, all the carrots are covered in olive oil. The sage is distributed. Maple syrup. Hey, Joman, how are you, Groover? Yeah, homegrown veg. I can't grow veggie here because I coexist with a lot of Australian native animals, possums in particular. but also wallabies, potoroos, paddy melons, like all sorts of stuff. But I've got a really good herb garden on my deck. But the possums eat my parsley. They don't eat anything else, just the parsley. It's probably the most neutral of all of the herbs. The beans look red to you. The carrots, you ning nong. They're the maple syrup carrots. They're going in now. You can also, some people, if I had fresh sage, I'd leave it till 5 minutes before they're done and just chuck it through then. Or you can put fresh herbs straight onto it. But I actually want the sage to roast in with the carrots. So they're going to go in the oven for about half an hour. It's a really quick dinner I'm making too. Although when I go live, it takes a lot longer because I chat and get distracted and all of that stuff. But this is a sort of meal you could get home from work and have the energy to put together because it's pretty straightforward. Samantha, you're back over at Taz Calling because you've got your membership. Next up, we're going to do some green beans, and they hopefully will look green. I'm going to be steaming them. So I've got my little steamer ready. And these beans are, some of them are a bit feral, I reckon. So I gave them a bit of a wash before I cut them up. I feel like I need to get another light in here. Or maybe I need to clean my glasses. So I'm making a serve for two because I am actually going to package up one and freeze it because this sort of, I'm very fussy about what I freeze, like in terms of meals that I've cooked. But garlic chicken with carrots and beans, cut that big fella in half, is one that will reheat perfectly fine, and it's a nice dinner to come home to, and you just chuck it in your air fryer for 15 minutes and away you go. Or take it out of the freezer in the morning, and when you get home, pop it in the air fryer for probably 10 minutes. Yeah, it's tricky filming in the kitchen, but most people seem to be okay with me doing it like this because you kind of get to see me prepping stuff and chatting, and then, you know, if there's full-on stovetop action, I mean, everyone knows what a boiling pot of water looks like, so, you know, it's not that crucial that unless I do a video and then I can do all sorts of stuff. And sometimes I'll make things where even if I'm using the stovetop, it's more about prepping on the bench. But I'm buying a second Gorilla to hold because I've got two cameras, and the idea will be to keep this camera that I'm using in the kitchen. And I've also got a tablet and a laptop, so the tablet can kind of almost just be a permanent kitchen thing. Just use it for this sort of stuff. And then I don't have to keep unpacking the setup in the living room or in my office, which I'm setting up at the moment, or wherever else I might be going live from. Probably got enough beans. There's always beans in this house. It's my favourite green veg. I'll never get sick of eating beans. A couple more. Pretty much every meal has beans in it, like stir fries as a specific side dish. Even if I do and I don't do it very often, but even if I do the emergency ramen noodles, I get home and I just don't feel like cooking anything, I'll chuck the beans in while the noodles are cooking as well. You found a really good way to prepare green beans baked in oil and garlic in the frying pan. Yum. Yeah, that's the other thing with beans too. You can do them so many different ways. But because I'm doing a garlic chicken and a maple syrup carrot, the beans are going to be really plain. I'll probably just do butter and a bit of lemon pepper. So there's my beans. Just trimmed the ends off, and a couple of them were monsters, so I cut them in half. And I'll turn the water on in the steaming pot now. But yeah, this is really just to show you how to do a very quick garlic chicken, and it's so yummy. And I think the key is just how you put everything in the pan. Cody loves chicken. I find it easy to just snap off the handle of green beans with the hand. Yeah, I just did that with the carrots. I did the carrots by hand, but I'm all about kitchen scissors too. And if the bean is a bit, because some of the beans might have been, they're not as turning as much as I thought they might have been, but if they're squishy and mingy, I'd rather cut that off with scissors than use my hand. I'm very tactile, and slimy is not a sense that I'm comfortable with. All right, the garlic chicken. So I've already got the water happening for the beans, and the carrots are in the oven. So we'll be doing the chickens. Yeah, green beans, I mean, they're beautiful with all of the red meats, your chickens and turkey and that sort of stuff. They're great with seafood. Obviously for vegetarians, vegans, whatever, they're yum. They're just, you know, are really versatile. And I picked up, I was talking about bargains, there were 2 packets of beans that were reduced to $1.50, and I grabbed them because I know that I'll eat them. If they're the only green veggies I have in my fridge, they'll just get eaten. I mean, I do have other green veggies like baby spinach and leeks and spring onions and stuff, but yeah, if that was all I had left, wouldn't bother me at all. I do a beautiful green beans with an anchovy butter that's yummy too. So these aren't going to take very long at all, the chicken breast. And like I said, I'm doing only 2 servings. This is like 250 grams of chicken thighs. You can use thighs or breasts for this. The recipe is in the link. If you wanted to feed 4 people, then just double it, quadruple it. These sorts of recipes, it's not like baking where adjusting can be disastrous. But yeah, I'm just buying what I need. 2 serves, good to go. And it won't take very long to put this all together. So I'll get the other stuff ready in the meantime, which is the garlic. My beautiful sister's beautiful garlic, homegrown. For 250 grams of chook, I'm using 3 cloves. It is garlic chicken after all. No point skimping on the garlic when you're making garlic chicken. I want to get 3 decent sized cloves. That's better. A pair of scissors is good too, I guess. Very handy tool. Don't use it myself when cooking, but seen it being used to cut meat with. Very safe safe tool, unless your fingers are all over the place. True. Yeah, I've been a scissors in the kitchen person for a long time. Like for even, you know, if a recipe says to cut up chili really finely, like you can get paper thin strips of chili and stuff using scissors, but with knives, not always. So these 3 garlic cloves are going to just be crushed into the frying pan when we cook the chook. But I might as well just prep these few little bits and pieces first, because the chicken bit doesn't take very long. I chose thighs. I generally don't trim the fat off thighs unless there's just like a big chunky blobby hard bit, because the thigh fat, chicken fat, dissolves. So like when you make curries and soups and stuff, casseroles, whatever, for years as a uni student, I used to trim all the fat off thighs. And then I don't know who it was who told me, but they're like, you're actually an idiot because the fat dissolves and it adds to it keeps everything moist and juicy and flavoursome. Now, I still do trim fat off chicken breasts. But yeah, thighs, you will not end up with a giant chunk of fat like you do with steak or whatever. So just a little tip there. So we've got our little 3 cloves of garlic. I'm also just going to chop up a bit of this parsley, which is looking a little bit worse for wear, but it'll be fully used by the end of the weekend. I'm doing a lot of cooking tomorrow. This is just Saturday night dinner happening here. I would be using my own parsley, but the possums have eaten nearly all of it. The few remaining bits left, I'm leaving them in the pot so they can hopefully grow, and possums just come along. As soon as it's looking healthy enough to start cooking with it, right, there's enough to use. Friggin' possums come along, but it doesn't bother me, you know. It's pretty cool to have possums visiting every night and hanging out on your deck, and they're very cute. Yeah, I love cooking with garlic and garlic chicken. So the water's coming to the boil for the beans. I might just add a little bit more. If you're ever steaming veggies and you're using this sort of method, make sure you've got enough water in the pot. There's nothing worse than that boiling dry. I like pretty crunchy beans. So we've got some parsley ready to go, along with our garlic. And then the only other things that are going to go in with the chicken is some salt. And we're also going to chuck in a squeeze of lemon. Let's put this away because I don't need that again. I'll use the salt. These lemons, speaking of budget shopping, nice knife. This is actually a MasterChef knife that I got by accumulating points at Coles buying Sonny's food. I mean, I have got a set of globals over there too, but the MasterChef knives are actually pretty good. So these are 2 of 3 lemons. They had 3 lemons for $2. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but these are monsters. Like, if you are shopping and there's things like 3 lemons for $2, find the biggest ones. I literally bought these at least 3 weeks ago, and I've only just finished the first one. So about to bust open number 2. But yeah, when you're looking at the price of stuff, if there's things like a 3 for $2 or whatever, which is still incredible, but doesn't happen very often. But yeah, rummage and get the big ones. Before you cut your lemons, always give them a good roll on your breadboard, your chopping board, a bit of pressure just to loosen up the juices. And I'm going to serve this with a squeeze of lemon goes in when it's cooking, but I'm also going to put a little wedge like that, just the end of the lemon. That's just going to go on the plate as well, so I can squeeze more lemon juice over the top. And that's it. We're prepped. We're good to go. So let's crank up the frying pan. This was my mum's Le Creuset. Look how loved it is. People say to me all the time, can you clean that? It's like, absolutely not. That is 50 years of caked on cooking goodness. Its name is Superstar. It just cooks like an absolute dream. But yeah, that is the most loved frying pan ever. With a cast iron, if you do cook with cast iron, never turn the element too high. Halfway or even a bit over, tiny bit over halfway is the equivalent of high for cast iron, because most elements are designed for this sort of stainless, although this does have a heavy base as well. But imagine like a saucepan or a little frying pan, whatever, that isn't cast iron. you really need to crank up the heat. But the beauty of the Le Creuset stuff is that the actual frying pan is what takes a bit longer to heat up. But once it's heated up, it just cooks like a dream. They do last a lifetime. I've got a pretty good collection. I've got a friend who has like tripled my collection, but the stuff that I've got gets used all the time, and I absolutely love it. Love it. Lemon the size of Aussie rugby balls. You better believe it. Yeah, they're huge. And they're juicy too. All right, the bean water is happening, so I'm going to whack them on. I'll get a bit of lemon pepper out because I do like butter and lemon pepper on my veggies sometimes. And I normally make all my own spice mixes and herb mixes and stuff, but Master Food lemon pepper can't be any other brand. It has to be this brand. This seasoning I've been cooking with this since I was a kid. And a sprinkle of this on any veggies, on seafood, whatever you're making. Oh, yeah. I've tried to make my own lemon pepper seasoning and it has not come close. This stuff is the bomb. And I'm not sponsored by them, but I should be. Yeah, good old iron pot to cook with. I know they're the best, aren't they? So we are going to try and get it as hot as we can. You want stuff to be absolutely sizzling when it lands in this pan. And I've just cranked it up a tiny bit over half. And we'll just put some olive oil in. The chicken is going to go straight into the pan. And then we're just going to let that cook through first. And then we add all the other stuff. So this is why I'm showing this recipe. Because, I mean, like garlic chicken's so yummy. But a lot of people would heat up the oil and the garlic and then chuck in the chicken and then do the parsley. You know, like it's really weird. It's just the order in which you do stuff. Your friend chipped her 30-year-old Le Creuset pan and they exchanged it for free. Yep, unbelievable. Actually, that's made me think. I should have a look. And I have broken a couple of my Le Creuset it's not porcelain. What's the word for it? I've had an absolute blank. You know, the pottery stuff. I've had a couple of things break, but they're only like the little ramekins with lids, and I've got so many of those that, you know, well, not so many, but I've got enough to last my lifetime. All right, Le Creuset is cranking. It's so well seasoned that once it starts to heat up a bit, some of the oil comes up through the bake. It's just, oh my God, I just love this frying pan so much. Just cover the base in oil. And then I'll just check and see if we want to split these. Yeah, we will. Just a little bit. If you're doing a chicken breast, maybe you know, slice it up in chunky bits. Like say 3 chunks. Just gonna halve them. I think there's only 2 anyway. But that's enough for me for like, actually this one I'll do in 3 pieces. Actually, no, I have to do it in 4. Or 1 serving can be 3 and 1 can be 2. Let's make that into 2 pieces. So that's like 250 grams. So that's 2 chicken thighs. And that's enough for me. But I mean, if you're feeding like for 2 serves, but if you're feeding an army, like I said, you just quadruple the recipe or whatever. Whatever equates to the number of mouths you've got to feed. We're doing quite a bit of cooking tomorrow. Yeah, the enamel. No, it's not enamel. It's like stoneware, you know, like, I don't know why pottery doesn't sound right, but crockery, whatever. It's not metal. It's bakeware. So we're just going to whack in the fire. Yep, she's hot and good to go. And like I said, I didn't even bother trimming off any of that because it all dissolves. Yeah, I'm going to be doing heaps tomorrow, Joman. I'm going to be making some meatballs, some mushroom soup and garlic bread, some ham and cheddar muffins, and the sweet thing I'm making this weekend is a chocolate peanut butter and coconut slice thing. Like it's a healthy. Oh no, the salt will be coming. Don't you worry about that. This is the trick. This is why I reckon this makes this amazing. What time? I'm not 100% sure yet. You'll need to keep an eye on the notifications popping up. Usually in the afternoon for me, so I usually start doing all my meal prepping and cooking at like 2ish. I've got a couple of things on in the morning, including going to the gym. But I don't know, I might make the bars because I think they have to like go in the fridge for 6 hours or 4 hours while they harden. So I might make them at like lunchtime and then come back in the afternoon and do the soup, muffins and meatballs. I think that's all I'm doing tomorrow. Have a look. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair few things. I've got the protein bars. Yeah, 2ish p.m. Yeah, the mushroom soup, delish. And then I'm calling them Humanimal muffins because the last time I made muffins, Humanimal was like, yeah, I'd be more of a cheese and ham sort of person. And I was like, well, as luck would have it, I've got a recipe on the opposite page for that. So they're Humanimal muffins, which will be yummy with the mushroom soup. And then the meatballs. These are coming along. But yeah, there will be salt going in. But the thing, I think the trick to this is a lot of people cook the meat with the garlic, and then the garlic sort of loses its power. We've got a bit of spattering going on over here. I'm going to have to mop the kitchen floor tomorrow or I'll be sliding all over the place. I've got one of those splatter things, but I always think about it like once the splatter's happened. It's sort of pointless. Things are coming along nicely. I might just, before I flick the fries over. Oh, these smell amazing. Giving the carrots a bit of a mix around. They smell so good. I've only got like another 10 minutes. The beauty of roasting veggies though, they can just stay in there until everything else is done. Thighs are good to switch over. You do want your thighs brown. I might soften them out. The middle is always the hottest part. You want to make sure whether you're doing breast or thighs that the chicken's cooked through before you add all the magic. And the other thing is, because this is a cast iron pan, as soon as the meat's cooked, I turn it off because it's got so much heat in it. It keeps cooking. Very easy, very good. Oh, you found a super tasty recipe of chicken, mushroom, garlic, white wine, and fresh spinach. Yum! Are you going to do some cooking on your channel, German? I need to I don't know why I don't get notifications from you, but you mentioned in a live the other day that you had something on your channel that I was going to watch, and I've probably forgotten about it. Mel, hello. Hit the thumbs up or I'll send you my nudes. There's a threat. Those chicken chops, want to grab one now and eat it. These little ones over here, yeah, they're looking good, hey? But yeah, you do want to make sure everything's nice and browned on the outside. Those don't take very long to cook, neither do breast really. And it's the trick is to just leave all of the final bits till, like cook the meat first with the oil. It must be the secret because I've tried so many different garlic chicken recipes over the years, and this one's just like the bomb. Oh, Mel, thank you, Mel. Oh, you're a sweetheart. Thank you, darling. Nudes incoming for everyone. Lolly. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. I've got to be, once this is cooked, I don't need to put the time on that because I know that there's more than enough time, the carrot. As soon as it's cooked, by the way, guys, I will be serving up and I'll do a quick taste test and logging off because it's my dinner. I don't want to eat it while it's still yummy and hot. This is spitting everywhere. The floor is, well, I actually bring the mat over here. The mat that gets washed every week. It's really funny. People like, you know, because I use a lot of tea towels, I wash the mats. I do all my dishes by hand. I spend a lot of time in my kitchen. But I love it. I love every bit of it. Doing the dishes, I put some good music on or a podcast. You're making a Joshua ham and cheese pizza, which I'm going to put that on the screen. That's hilarious. The nudes incoming. I'm doing a ham and cheese muffin tomorrow. The men are having leftover butter chicken. And what are you having? Not time for your meal today, but you're starting to get hungry now, Simon. I mean, it's amazing how good this smells, and it's literally just chicken thighs and oil at the moment. But I do just want to get the chicken thighs browned on every side. And then all you've got to do, this one needs to go in the middle for a while. It hasn't browned as well as the others. Now there's this food. Still a bit of pink going around there. But the reason it's spitting so much is because I put in olive oil in the pan and then the fat from the thighs is now dissolved as well. The trick. Oh, seafood marinara with garlic butter. Yum. Yeah, there's a lot of garlic. Look at my sister's beautiful homegrown garlic. So I'm doing garlic chicken, and then tomorrow I'm going to be making a mushroom soup and doing garlic bread with that. But yeah, seafood marinara with garlic butter. Yum! The sound from the frying chicken stimulates my stomach acid. It's so funny, isn't it? Like that, just the smell of garlic and butter cooking. And people, when you start cooking dinner and they walk in and that's all you've done so far, and they're like, oh my God, it smells so good in here. And it's like, why haven't I just, for my entire lifetime, just fried garlic in butter and not actually ever cooked anything? Just fed them that because it's so amazing. Right, so the thighs are not far off. No, stop it. You're rich or something. I think you've just paid for my dinner. Thank you. That was what I was going to say. I don't think I've even spent $10 on ingredients for this meal. Like we're doing a lot of veggies that needed to be cooked, and I don't even know what I was talking about now. Oh, the ready colour. I don't think it makes it stronger. It's just that's what homegrown looks like, as opposed to store bought, where they seem to bleach it white for some reason. Thank you so much, Mel. That's really generous. I love you too. I love you too. You're the best. I love this community so much. All right, so I'm really happy with the thighs. I'm just going to check the beans. Oh, I think I've overcooked the beans. Too much chatter, not enough focusing. That looks way too wobbly. That's way too floppy for my liking, but I'll be eating it. Sorry, beans. So the beans, all I'm going to do with them, my hair is pulled back. How did one of my hairs get on the, God almighty, this is craziness. So the beans, we're just going to put a little bit of butter. The thighs are now smelling cooked, so I'm going to turn them off. Just a little bit of butter. And a little bit of my lemon pepper. See you in a sec, Mel, although I won't be live for much longer, but thank you so much for the, just give that a bit of a zhuzh. And then we're going to whack the lid on that. So now with the thighs, there is a lot of oil in the pan. But that is perfectly fine. We'll turn the actual heat off. But we're now going to add the 3 cloves of garlic. We're just going to crush them straight in. One clove of garlic. Two cloves of garlic crushed. Wah, ha, 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 ha. Whoops. 3 cloves. This is sudden. My hands are just covered in oil right now. It's disgusting. 3 cloves of garlic. Sorry for that. I don't know that. I want to get on it now. I got into the top 100 in season 2, but it was home cooking back then, you know. So the garlic goes in, gives them a bit of a mix, as does the parsley. It's actually quite a lot of parsley, probably a bit more than I needed, but you know. And then we're going to also squeeze over some lemon juice. This is such a big piece of lemon. Hang on. I can't actually squeeze it. Like my arthritic wrist can't squeeze through that. So you squeeze of lemon juice. Just use your hands. This is actually a seedless lemon from what I can tell. So that's a bonus. But if you use your hands and let the lemon juice run through the bottom of your fingers, you can catch all of the seeds. And then we're going to also add some salt. Good chunk of yummy sea salt, rock salt. And then we're just going to mix that up all together. Turn over the thighs so they all get a good drenching in the lemon juice and everything else. I'm going to hold this up to the camera so you can see how majestic it is. And there it is. And if you could smell it, you thought the sizzling was amazing. Oh my God, the aroma. And you've got this beautiful garlic sauce to drizzle over as well. Let me just give this the cooktop a tiny wipe down. Because the OCD in me, I can't focus if things need to be cleaned. And we'll just take this away. And then for plating up, get the roasted maple syrup carrots out of the oven. They're sizzling away. There are a couple of cloves of garlic in there too. Do I cook with white wine? Do you mean do I drink white wine while I cook? Oh, I slice the garlic thin with a knife a lot of the time, but this particular recipe, hell no. It's all about the crushing, man. It's all about the crushing. You get more bang for your buck, more garlic evenly distributed throughout. But I do a lot of sliced garlic a lot. So we've got a maple syrup honey roasted, maple syrup roasted carrots that were cooked with maple slime. They were cooked with maple syrup, olive oil, cloves of garlic, pepper, salt, possibly, I can't remember now. Yes, would have been. And I chucked in some sage as well. That's just off the top of my head. I don't have a link to a recipe for that. That's just how I do it when I do it. Same with the green beans. They're just steamed with a bit of, how do I get out of the light? I need a spotlight, man. So they're beans with the butter and lemon pepper. And look, they are actually a little bit more overcooked than I would like. I wasn't paying attention. I like them crunchy, and these are like how my mum used to make them. But anyway, I'll still eat them. And then the garlic chicken. And because I'm going to get 2 serves of it, I'm having 3 pieces, which doesn't look like a lot probably to you guys, but it's more than enough for me. I'd rather finish off all the beans and carrots than have more meat. Oh, hang on a sec. Like they're doing MasterChef. Clean the plate. And there you have it. If I hadn't have been live, that probably would have taken like half an hour to make total. Ignore the beans. Focus on the garlic chicken. Look at that chicken. And I'm going to give it a quick taste test. And then I'm going to end this live. But Mel, thank you so much for the very generous super chats. Yeah, maple syrup's just a... Hey, Humanimal, I'm making your cheddar and ham muffins tomorrow. So keep an eye out if you're around. I'm calling them Humanimal muffins. I didn't forget. So I'm going to just have a little piece of the chook and the carrot. Oh, my God. Yep. Juicy. Garlicky. My sister's homegrown garlic is divine. Another plug for my sister and her yummy homegrown garlic, which I'll be using tomorrow too. I'm going to make garlic bread to go with the mushroom soup. The beans are not worth eating because I'm going to put them out of the shot. I'm going to cover them up with Mel's super chat. But yeah, lots of beautiful garlicky juice. There's a lot of parsley too because I did a parsley flavour because I did put a heap of parsley in there. But guys, enjoy that. Sorry that I'm ending this live rapidly, but I want to eat this while it's hot. This looks good, Tori. I may try it out myself, minus the syrup. Do honey. Honey carrots are great too. Maple syrup's just a twist. Yeah, I know. My beans I've overdone them big time, but that's okay. I'm so hungry. that I really won't care. And they're still drowning in butter, right? But yeah, I like them to still have a crunch. I got carried away. Yeah, Humana Muffs. Thanks, guys, for hanging out, and I'll be live tomorrow doing lots of cooking. But also, if you're around tonight and you want to join me over on Sleuths and Smooth Criminals, we're going to be having a chat about how the Australian media, reputable media sources, have started calling out how damaging speculating can be on the survivors when they've lost a family member or a victim to a murder or whatever, how dangerous and how much it can affect people, this speculation. And they're actually calling out other Australian media outlets for doing it. It's going to be a good live. So that'll be over on Sleuths and Smooth Criminals, talking about the very sad death of Jock Sonfrillo a few weeks ago, and how the media are starting to call out mainstream media for being scumbags. So hopefully some of you can join me for that. What is it? It's 10 to 7. Probably will be in about an hour. But I'm going to go. Oh, the cabbage. I've got to go and see the cabbage. I'll watch that while I'm eating dinner. But from me and this beautiful garlic chicken, until next time, bon appetit, groovers. Thank you, Mel. You're a sweetie.